Dr. Brett. All right, so now this is the next generation of the implants. All the implants that you've seen have been the first version, the previous version. So we talked about and showed plenty of cases that show the flexibility or maneuverability of the implant prior to it being locked. And like I said earlier, it's 4 years of commercial use, thousands of implantations. The total is 65 degrees of curvature, controlled navigation for getting the implant in, and 25 degrees of cone angulation. And obviously, if this is too fast, like you're not catching details, the booth, you can definitely stop by the booth and they'll go through this with you. But now I think with newer implantation instruments, it's even more reproducible, less bulky. There have been some nice changes. So 65% smaller implant on the head. So you could see, like, especially on that anterior column implants, all of them were sticking out a little bit, and that's just because of the size of the proximal body. And now that's much improved with the lower profile design. There's multiple ways to get the starting wire in, and you can use more familiar, like if you use a cannulated drill for your iliosacral screws, that's an option, but you do still have to use the opening reamer. The implant length, especially for, you saw those posterior column implants, which I think is a big game changer for posterior column fixation. Sometimes 180 wasn't long enough, so now it goes up to 210, and you can really get down into the ischial tuberosity. And then there's a single-use flexible drill that functions as a reamer, and then improved locking feedback and experience. And so some of you who are at the lab may have already seen this, but definitely stop by the booth if you have questions. So this is basically it's a smaller head, so it's less palpable. So especially with the first one and this gluteus medius pillar implant corridor, like if you didn't countersink, the implant would be pretty prominent. And so this helps take away that need for the countersink. 45% reduction in instrument diameter. So it allows for this triple sleeve that you can pin in place and work through it for everything, which is nice. Threaded inserter, like an intermedullary nail. So it's try to do things to make it more similar to other devices that you use. And then you can also use the washers that are available, smaller or larger, to try to generate some more compression. You do get some compression when the implant's in and expanded, and then you tension the cables, and you can see that it withdraws. And on the depth gauge, it does show kind of what the expanded length is for each implant. So that's a nice additive as well. And then double the torque capacity for the 9.5 implant. And there's a stronger shaft design for that. So this is, again, I mentioned the 210 length. This is nice for the longer posterior column screws. Crossing the symphysis for parasymphyseal fractures, like you've seen some of the cases show. And it's just, one of the nice things is that if you, with just this device in general, say you're doing an anterior column screw and an LC2 screw, if you're kind of getting blocked by a straight implant, you can work around a start site that may not be what you would normally do, just because it allows more flexibility for implantation. This is the front cutting drill reamer, essentially, and it does look like that. It's very flexible, almost comically flexible, but it functions very well. And then you have a color-coded to show that you're fixed or locked or unlocked. That's additive. So instead of like the lines lining up, it's very visual, and then you can also feel it a little, have more tactile feedback. And then one of the things that I think is a big improvement as well in this next generation is the implant removal system. If you do have to remove it, I would say the instrumentation is more reliable to get the implant out, and just with the changes of design that we've had on the implant. So these are the indications for the pelvis, and this is kind of how we're capturing data. We have a registry going for people who are using the implants. And if you get to the point where you use them and want to partake in adding data to the registry, any of the CurvaFix folks that you work with can get you in touch with me and our research team. Thank you.